Well, a special good night to all our viewers on our YouTube platform and also over on Facebook. I just want to greet you, everybody. How was your week? Let me just fix my volume. I believe it is too high. Yes, very well. All right. All right. So, how was your week, folks? How was your week so far? Or how was your weekend? Good evening to all. We are on. We are here. Now, I want you to forgive me if I have my Vicks old school and I am sniffing. It is Vicks Vapor Rub, not cocaine. All right. But I just want to greet all and I encourage you to join, share the platform. We were not on last week because of technical issues that we got rectified. We also have Facebook technicians who are working on retrieving our Facebook original Caribbean American News Facebook page, and it should be on shortly. The technicians and investigators are working overtime. We have a number of communication from them, and so we just want to thank them for working on our behalf. It was a lot of problems in getting to that unit, but by the grace of God, He's been faithful, and I believe that based on the emails that I've been receiving, yes, based on the emails, then we are in for a treat. Let me just see if I can do a shot of that document, because these days you got to be careful with information because people can say that you're lying, it's not the truth. But let me pull up, actually, I just got a screenshot of it. Good. Let's do full screen. Yes. And now we will send it over to our system so that you folks can, you can see what we're talking about. That it is not a joke. It is serious business. Yes, it is serious business. I'm just trying to see how I can share this document on the screen. Okay. All right. So we send it out there. And I'm sure that I can get it up so that you can have a look at it. I want you to be involved in this process. Just bear with me. We're dealing with Facebook, the IT security team. Let me see if I can get it up for you. It should show up as an image. Okay. I have not seen it yet. Just bear with me, folks. Okay, so it is not up as yet. Okay, bear with me. I'm going to get it. I am going to get it. Yes. Okay, good. I see what I need, what needed to be done. So it's here. But while you're here, folks, please share. We have an interesting program tonight. We'll have a lot of areas to cover. And by the way, happy Independence. You're heading there very soon. Hi, Elizabeth. How are you? I'm going to greet everybody shortly. Just share. A lot of people don't know where we are, so they're expecting us to share with them, and I do not have the time to share. All right, so if you can do so, our folks on YouTube also, if you can help us with sharing, then we will be happy. All right, but greetings. Elizabeth, Fede, good to see you. Martin, my security, good for you. Welcome. Lorraine, welcome. Hippolyte and family and husband. Angelique, how are you? All right, I'm coming over to Facebook, to YouTube, folks. Just bear, just bear. We're going to have a hard talk tonight, and it is one that is overdue. But let's just deal with our Facebook challenge that we are facing right now. But we are very close to closing that case. Very close. All right. Now, this is just one of the cases that I'm going to show you. Just bear with me. Okay, beautiful. Here it is. God is good. All right. So I just need to just bear. We're in this together, folks. Enjoy some music while I get it up. Bear with me, it's coming. I'm just trying to get it as large as possible. Good. Okay, so we are on now. All right. Good, good, good. God is faithful, friends. All right, so let me just go over to our YouTube channel to greet all our viewers over there. Greetings, folks. We miss you all. Yes, we miss everybody. Our program will continue as scheduled tonight, tomorrow, and we will actually add a new day. We will add an extra day to the program. I will make that announcement this week. So we will have 3 days of broadcasting, and we'll continue to increase our capacity. There's a lot going on that we need to cover, and I believe we have our purpose. Please bear with me while I set up the monitor for our YouTube viewers. I got to be able to see them. Good. It shows, yes, we are live. Folks, invite a friend, share. Okay, good. So we are over on our YouTube channel, great, and our Facebook channel. All right, so let's go over to, let me take out the monitor on one side of my ear, but let us go over to what I was saying to you. We lost in December access on the 29th, I believe, or somewhere around there, access to our Caribbean American news page. Now, I'm not going to get into more details with what took place there. Some of you, would have ideas. But then I was hoping that good sense would have prevailed and the individual would have added me back to my original page as an administrator. That did not happen. I was removed by that individual, and so I lost full access to this page. And so we have an investigation that have started. I'm going to share with you so that you can see. I believe in transparency and giving you the information so that you can make decisions, you can understand what is happening. I believe that there are too many, we have one or two, there are so many dishonest persons out there, friends, and sometimes you question your very self based on what you are hearing out there. And so I have taken a different approach to social networking, social media, broadcasting. I'm taking a totally different approach to our online broadcast. All right. It's all about evidence. It is all about letting you see with your own eyes. Even though the Bible says that some have eyes, but they don't see, and ear that they do not hear. Why? Because they are blindly involved in either politics, they're blindly involved in party issues, or even church issues that they cannot see beyond that. You cannot see what is right. You cannot see what is right. All right. So let me go here. Let me just show you at this point what I'm talking about. So this is what I'm hoping that you can see, that you're seeing on your screen. There might be a delay over on our Facebook, our YouTube channel. But let us look at, here is the case, and this is one of the latest cases that I've opened, files that I opened with Facebook, and you would have seen the information there. My page was added to someone's business account. I'm letting you see everything. Thank you, Florence. It's good to be back. I never left you now. I was always here, you know. I had got a lot of time for myself, which was needed. But let's go on. And so there you see the status received in progress, and it is about to be completed. Once you see January 30th, which is today, it means that they're working. They're still working. It will change tomorrow. And so hopefully there's a lot that is going to be happening. And some people, it's the hard way some people learn. What is going to happen is that they're going to take certain actions, you know. And the sad thing is that when Facebook intervenes, then all of a sudden you become a bad person. You become someone who, you know, you're not good, you're not kind, you're evil. And so some of us are very patient. Some of us have you know, we can suffer long. And so I am just one of them, and I'm happy that, you know, it was escalated by Facebook. I got some calls sometime last week that it has been escalated, and they have confirmed certain information to me, and I am very grateful that we will get our page back, our original page back and running. But let's go on to what is happening among us. Now, there is something that we got to look at in St. Lucia, and that is the number of women that have been murdered lately. I'm not sure if you folks are paying attention to it. A number of women, senior citizens, retired business persons, losing their lives in their homes, being stabbed or shot or strangled with bag over their heads. What is happening in the society? And the sad reality is that while all this is happening, you have politicians who are just backing along like business as usual. Everybody is on their merry way. The conversation continues. The outrage is just for the minute. Let's look at some of these women. Please stay with me on the screen. And by the way, condolences to the families of those who have lost their lives, especially these 5 women. What was cause someone to just take the life of another person, a woman, helpless? What is happening? We're going to look at it again. What is going on in the country? And I believe this. Hi, Cleopatra, my friend. Please share the live, folks, as you join. People are looking for us. Now, this woman, I think she was the last person who got killed sometime on Thursday or Friday. Retiree, live alone. What is going on? Before her, we had this businesswoman, real estate owner, real estate business owner. This woman was found dead in her home. Nurse found dead in her car. Hey, Gregory Charles, how are you? Florence, what is going on in the country? And you have persons online fighting causes that does not need to be fought. These are the issues, friends, that we need to spend our time speaking on. Now, I want us to go over to Soufrière. There's something happening in Soufrière. Let us run over there quickly. All right? We'll have our discussions, and don't be afraid to use the telephone line tonight. Don't be afraid. It is open. All right? So stick with me. Share the live. Folks are still looking for us. I cannot answer the messages, but you know, if some of you can share it for me, then I'll appreciate it very much. So, good. I don't know what is happening in the country. Let's go over to Soufrière. All right, so here's a letter pinned by, I know the individual, a friend of mine, from Soufrière, and it is sad. The question is asked, and you know, let's go through these bullet points here. The question is asked, why are there workers of the Soufrière Constituency Council who have not been paid at least 3 fortnights? Let's go through this piece by piece. Now, if these workers have been paid, I would love for someone to share with us. I would love for someone to give us an update, confirm to us that yes, these Soufrière workers have been paid. Why? For 3 fortnights. It means that because this report came out earlier in the month, which means that these individuals were not paid for the Christmas, or they were not paid for the New Year. So they spend their holidays without a salary. 3 fortnights. And what is the discussion in the media? What is the discussion? So my question is, where are the investigative journalists? Where are they? And to the pundits who are speaking on behalf of parties, it is time for you guys to refocus. I am not going to join the circus. Period. There are greater issues that are impacting the common people in the society that we need to highlight, that we need to keep the pressure on those who are in authority. Something must be done. So I'm calling on both political sides. Both political sides. If you're not hearing, folks, you will have to reset your device, go out and come in, because I think my device I'm hearing myself. Right, so Miss Hippolyte, you'll have to go out and come in. But the audio is great. Audio service is great. Folks, can you hear me? If you're hearing me, let me know. Thank you. All right. So let's go back. Once you're hearing me, just indicate under the live so we will know that you are hearing us. All right. But there is sound on our end. I can hear and I can see all the lights moving up and down our monitors, which means that we are good. All right. Yes. So let's go back to the whole souffre situation there. So 3 fortnights, no payments to workers. What is happening? So no money for Christmas, no money in the new year. And that is in souffre. And souffre, for those who don't know, souffre is in St. Lucia. Souffre is where you have the Sulphur Spring. Huh? Yes, Souffre is a beautiful place. Was developed nicely by the last administration. And that's the truth. Because throughout the years, Souffre has been neglected. And so the development that you see now, the community could have been more advanced. But what you have is politicians coming in and fighting each other and arguing with who can get the highest, whose friends and whose families can be placed in certain positions. But you, the normal worker, nobody's fighting for you. You think most of the political games that you see out there on social media, in your community, you think it is about you? There are very few politicians who are really concerned about you. Very few. And I'll tell you the truth. Very few. No money for the new year. And to make matters worse, the mayor of Souffre has abandoned her position. Why did she abandon her position? Because she was offered a higher paying job. Approximately $8,000 a month. Now I understand. I'm just asking a question now. So my question is to the person who appointed or hired this new retiree. Now remember, this person, I believe, is supposed to be a retiree, which means that this person should be getting some money monthly from the government. Where are the young people in Souffre? Where are the young people? Why the manager of the PTOR management, the general manager of the PTOR management area, the PMA, why could not we find a young person to take this spot? But no, you can't speak about it because you got to watch your back, because there are persons that will come to get you. There are those who will make an attempt to assassinate your character. So you can't speak about these on these issues because there are those out there who believe that they own political parties. They are the pit bulls of political parties. They will come to get you. So many persons who come on the scene to stand up for what is right and to speak on behalf of those who have no voice, those persons got to run and hide because of these pit bulls. So my question is, why would you leave a job as a retiree? A job where you should have ensured that those workers were paid first, but instead you run to secure your $8,000. But yet, 3 fortnights, workers have not been paid. But I am very much sure that you have already gotten your first $8,000. If I am wrong, someone can help me out. Folks, if I am wrong, I need some help. If I am wrong, I need help. Is this right? Where are our young people? Where are we young people? Where? Where are they? And we are supposed to just sit by and allow things to go on. We have a public announcement. Let's take that public announcement. So, let's look at the United Workers' Party Dennery North Branch. There's a public meeting for February the 1st. February the 1st at 5:30 p.m. And that will be taking place at the Larry Shoes Parish Hall. All right? So the United Workers' Party's members who are located in Dennery North, you are kindly asked to show up at your meeting on the 1st at 5:30 p.m. And I will encourage you to go to those meetings. Go to those meetings and, and do what you got to do. And so far, what I'm hearing out of the United Workers' Party, outside of all the bullies and the hooligans that are out there creating political enemies, left, right, and center, in and out of the camp, in spite of those persons, the party is still pulling itself together. And that's a good thing. Because in the democracy of your country, the democracy of St. Lucia, you need to have 2 or 3 or 4 political parties, not a one government rule for the life of your country. By the way, while I'm saying this, let me go over to Mr. John Compton. I don't know how many of you remember him. And the reason why I'm asking if how many of you remember him, it is because some of us act like we forget very quickly. And we do not recognize good leaders among us until they are gone. They are gone through death, or they are gone because they joined another political party, or they left and they're just at their homes, don't want to get involved, and then you wonder what is going on. But sometimes we got to reflect on the way we do things. We got to reflect on how you speak up against error early so that it would not take root. You deal with things. Don't run from it. You deal with situations. Because while people are good, there is also bad in us. You will fall, you will make mistakes, but because an individual makes a mistake, it does not make them a bad person. It does not make them bad for your party. But when you push them to the point of anger and they decide either to go independent or they decide to just stay home or stay out, then they become your enemy. Let's go to John Compton. And many of you who pretending that you are United Workers' Party supporters and you love John Compton, some of you are a bunch of hypocrites. And some of you just came. Some of you don't know nothing about the party. The only thing you know about it is the position that you're eyeing. But you don't know anything about your party. You don't. But what do you do? What do you do to get to that place? Because the problem is everybody's trying to get close to the leader or the person who they believe would be the next prime minister. That's the game. Everybody wants to get there. And so if you are getting too close, they're going to take you out. They're going to do their best to get you out. Because you see, in this, and I've listen to me, I had enough time to reflect on the game. It's a bunch of self-centered people who use the plight of those who have no medical insurance and those who are poor in their communities. We use them as political pawns. We climb on their head. And then when we get into those positions, and some of us, we fight for positions that are way out of our league, sometimes positions that are not even in a place where you can help those poor people. You fight for positions in the diaspora because it is all about you. It is all about your big dinners and your bonuses and your salaries. But it is not about in the trenches of Dennery or Soufriere or Vieux-Fort, where families are burying their deads daily. Oh, you act like you're outraged. But search within your heart. Are you really outraged? Are you really concerned about the salaries of our hotel workers? Are you really concerned about it? Are you concerned about the lawlessness in the country? You side with bandits. Are you really concerned? And I know how nice we can play the game. While country should be first. And I will show you a man who many of you said were not a St. Lucian. He was the worst of the worst, especially when he said to you all, Lucians, watch your bread. You said to him, go back to your country. In the Grenadines, go back to St. Vincent. That's what you told this gentleman. When he was building all the waterways and the schools. And while many of you can't remember because that's how you are. When our children were dying with waterborne disease. From Wavin Paso, going right through to Poile, those areas. And John Compton would see families carrying their babies and their children to be buried because they had died from waterborne diseases. And every day, Mr. John Compton would experience a family walking with their loved ones on their head to bury them, their children. And then he decided that it was enough. He had to put a water system in place. And he got the support. Many of you don't know these dark days in St. Lucia. No electricity, no proper roadway. Country almost left on its own. A man having to to push back the waters in order to get proper lands that you are enjoying today and you want to lease off today. A man from Pigeon Point who backed off the water. And you enjoy it today. And that's why I say those politicians who are coming now got to be mindful of the sacrifice of Mr. John Compton and all the others who have gone before. You want to speak about independence? You want to speak about the United Workers' Party? Where were some of you when persons were sacrificing their time and their energy. My stepfather, who was dedicating his transport and finance for the United Workers' Party. Where were you? Many of you were on the other side. You were on the other side calling Mr. John Compton names. But all of a sudden, you are a United Workers' Party and you know who should be in and who should be out. You, my friend, you are dangerous for the party. You are dangerous for the country because you do not acknowledge the sacrifice of those who were there before us. There is always those who were there before us, and you better believe it. And while we are casting aspersions and we are making statements about persons who know nothing else but the United Workers' Party, we got to be careful that we create a United Workers' Party that history would not recognize. And a United Workers' Party that will be so toxic that all you will have is political wars over and over and over because everybody wants to be at the head or at the feet of the leader. And so they will do anything in their power to get there. But while you are doing that, remind yourself that many of you were not committed United Workers' Party supporters. Many of you jump ship only when the party is in power. Many of you want to speak out when you believe that the party is in a position to win an election. And that's why many of you are silent today, you know. You know why? Because you're not too sure about the victory. So what you're doing, you're waiting. You're just waiting it out. A few more months. Let's see how things go. Let's see how things work out. Let's see if the hospital is going to be fixed by Mr. Pear. Let's just hold on. Let's hold on. And then we can come out and speak once we can see that the party is together. But you will not do it now because you are full of yourself. And you are not a team player. So when the party wins, you are a United Workers' Party. You're a proud supporter. But when they lose, you're in hiding. You are behind the scenes hiding. And that, my friend, was not what Mr. John Compton did. He was always at the forefront. And the reason why I can tell you those history is because I grew up in a United Workers' Party home. And not only I grew up there, my stepfather grew up in a United Workers' Party home. So I'm not coming here acting like I'm all self-righteous United Workers' Party. And that's why I have great respect for the leaders who have been there before me. Great respect. Are they perfect? No, not at all. Can they get the job done? Yes. With all their weaknesses and flaws, they can get the work done. Why? Because all of us have our weaknesses and our challenges. But once we can recognize it and work in the interest of the people of St. Lucia, then oh, what a difference it will make. Would that not be a beautiful party? Would that not be the other option outside of what you have? There's a lot of people out there who are discouraged, disillusioned because of the constant fights and the ghettoish attitude. Persons who should know better placing firewood constantly in the fire. Constantly firewood in the fire. And there are persons who want to get involved. There are persons who don't like the nastiness. And that's the truth. Not because you're ghetto, everybody is ghetto. Not because you like to be jumping and cussing and insulting people that everybody likes to do it. No, there are some people who are professionals. And by the way, there are some professionals who are worse. Now, I'm speaking about Mr. Compton. Was he a perfect man? Oh, no. But he loved his country. And I believe was the most humble politician in his time. And I remember the bunch, you know, I as a little boy, I remember those bunch. When you see James Mitchell, Eugenia Charles, Errol Barrow, all these guys, John Compton, they come together. To me, I looked at Eugenia Charles as an iron woman. She had a strong voice, and she reminds me of the Barbados Prime Minister. It's heavy and very serious woman. Those were the politicians of the time, of the times. Some had more vision than the other. Some were much slower in development. But what I can say to you, that there are few political parties in the Caribbean that have helped with the development of their nation. There are some parties, when they go into power, it is always chaos. It is always cost overrun. There is always financial issues at the end of their term. There is always a side, a political side, that cause havoc in the country. And that's history. And there's always a party that have to come in and clean up, mop up. After that party comes in, cleans up, mop up everything, guess what? The people of the country put them out. Put them out. Put in another set. Same problem, and that's the cycle. And that's why the Caribbean islands, they're when it comes to development, they are behind. They are backwards. If these guys had vision, many of them, folks, you think it would have been impossible to get a bridge from Martinique to St. Lucia or from St. Vincent to St. Lucia? No, think about it. I'm just telling you how if many of our leaders would have that type of vision. You want to think big. You want to aim big. You can't tell me you aim for a small airport in a developing country. And then, after another 20, 30 years, the generation to come got to go look for money after they're finished paying that loan to start paying another loan in order to get a proper airport. When you can just do that for the generation now. Why would you want to give the generation a hospital, a small hospital, that will not be able to take care of a developing nation in the future? Why not build for the future now? Why not build for the future now? Why not do it now? To make things easier for the generation to come. But we are full of ourselves. That's what I'm speaking about. Our egos are blocking our vision. And we cannot see beyond the mountain. But by faith, if you look a little closer, you'd realize that we are holding back the development of a nation. So I'm saying to you folks, whether you're a United Workers' Party or a Labour Party supporter, think about your country first. Think about it first. Think deep about it. Now, many of us who are talking loud, some of us have pension from the United States. We already set up for all kind of retirement stuff. And so some of us don't care much. Some of us have land houses, expensive cars up here. Why do you think we're clocking in every day at a job for Social Security and everything else? When we get to a certain age, you put up your foot and you're going home. And you have monies coming in constantly in the bank. Some of you don't have it in your country. Why? Because your leaders have not set up that system for you. Because what I would have done, if you're a fisherman, you got to pay in something to your retirement. You got to put something in. It's mandatory. The tax people will have to talk to you, knock on your door, knock on your boat or your boathouse, and ask you, what are you doing? Did you submit your $20? For when you get 80, you won't be cussing the government off for money that you didn't put in. And think about COVID. The Prime Minister had to take millions of dollars to give non-contributors. Now, folks, think about this hypocrisy. And I know I'm going off rail, but think about this hypocrisy that is going on in your country. And it must be called out. It must be called out. Don't tell me don't call it out. You think going on social media talking about he's not a pastor, he called Soraya, he did this, you think talking about that going to help you when you get at 70? Are you crazy, folks? How is that going to help you when you get sick? Is my certificate going to get you to St. Jude, get you proper care? I can tell you this, I have proper care. Because if anything happened to me, all I need to do, if I can't drive to the hospital there, and I tell you the truth, I go to the white people hospital. I go up in Long Island, the depths of Long Island for medical care. I honestly don't go to Brooklyn. I say nothing wrong with Brooklyn. But if I'm in Brooklyn, I get sick, I get myself up into the Young Island. Because it's a benefit that I have. So don't think talking about me or spreading my name is going to help you. I'm trying to help you. Not me. You think 1 cent star going to help me with retirement? Are you crazy? Are you thinking, people? Huh? Is that what it is? You think coming here and talking about numbers on Facebook is going to help you when you get to 70? Half of the numbers that you see there might be dead. Or half of the numbers might be broke by the age 70 or 60. Half of the numbers you see there will need somebody to help them with a hamper. Why? Because they are busy in rural than in focusing on the development of the nation, setting a foundation so they won't have to ask retired people from England for help when they are sick. They should be keeping the pressure on their governments to do what is right. Now let me ask you again. How do you feel, those of you who got support from the NIC and you never give $1? Think about the question, and I'm going to pause for you to think about it. Now, mind you, I'm not boasting. I'm showing you the reality. Now, I have the flow, and I'm right here talking to you. You think I should not be in recovery? Huh? Of course. There are issues we got to deal with. There are issues we got to deal with. So, let me ask you again. How do you feel during COVID that Mr. Alan Shastney had to take millions of dollars from the national insurance that you never put in to help you? How do you feel? Can you say lock him up because he should not have done it? Should you say investigate him because he did something wrong? Oh no, you would not say that he's a thief for giving you something that you did not work for. You did not deserve. Because the system is, if you put in, you will get out. The system is not a system where you just stay out, somebody puts in, and then you take out. That's now how it works. And many of you don't pay taxes. Maybe you're just living on government lands. No taxes. Maybe you sell some peanuts. You don't care about NIS or taxes. As a matter of fact, you eat all your profit. You don't care about tomorrow. Some of you sell your little bounty rum under the counter. You didn't pay license fees. And even though you get good sale for your bounty, you don't think about next week. You don't think about the future. Some of you sell only, or you work only for Carnival. Then after Carnival, you back by the fisheries, scratching your hair. And hoping that somebody will drop a $5 on the ground. That's how we want to live as a people. And you know why the system in St. Lucia's the way it is? Because some of you are satisfied with $500 to vote. And some of you are satisfied with party loyalty over country loyalty. And so you can't say nothing to your politicians because you don't want to hurt their feelings. So when your politicians are doing foolishness, you say nothing. Why? Because they just gave you a little $500 or a few sheets of galvanized. Or they promise you they will allow your daughter to go overseas to study in Taiwan. Or it could be a cousin, politician friend, or like in Soufriere, maybe a sister, sister-in-law, $8,000. So you remain quiet. And then by the time you know it, a generation with nothing to show. No airport. No hospital, bad roads, crime-infested country. All you have is parties, carnival, celebrations, nothing else. Parties on the fields. Push the kids aside, tell them not today. Next week. Because party first. You know what I would have done? Those entertainers would have had to come in after those children. Yeah? And those entertainers would have had to pay for the maintenance of those fields that they're using. I would charge them enough to supply grass on that field for an entire year. You break it, you fix it. That's what I would have done. But I'm just saying, I'm not in any position to make that happen. But I speak about Mr. John Compton. Let's go over to listen. I want to hear something from Mr. John Compton. We cannot just call his name. I want us to look at 1989. I don't know how many of you, I was already born by then, 1989. So let's go over just for a few minutes, folks. Let's go down memory lane for a while, okay? Bear with me.
Hello again and welcome to yet another segment of Independence Over the Years. Today we focus on the 20th anniversary. The highlight of that year's celebration was the visit by the Prince of Wales. Let's now join Marcelina John.
Bonne fête Saint Lucie. Happy 10th birthday, Saint Lucia. 3 cheers for Saint Lucia. Hip hip. Hooray! Hip hip. Hooray! Hip hip. Hooray! Your Royal Highness, Prince Charles of Wales, Your Excellency and wife, Mr. and Mrs. James, Honorable Prime Minister and wife, Mr. and Mrs.
Pay attention,
Douglas
folks.
Compton,
They had
John
good
Compton,
English in 1989.
Mr. President, Mr. Speaker, members of government, distinguished guests, school children. Indeed, words cannot express the joy, the feeling of unity, the patriotic love we feel today as we rally together to celebrate this 10th birthday. It is in this spirit that I, on behalf of this large family gathered here, wish my brothers and sisters, fathers and mothers, a happy 10th anniversary. I am more than honored on behalf of this family to extend a warm welcome to you, Your Royal Highness, the Prince of Wales, no less a member of our family. Today holds the climax of our independence celebrations. As we reach the zenith, we look back at our country, at its achievements. Each one of us, no less patriotic than the other, realizes indeed, though a rose bush is always characterized by its thorns, in our tree, the beauty of that flower is so illuminous that we become charged with a will, a purpose, and spur on our journey towards creating that dreamland for ourselves. Our country has taught us to be confident in ourselves as young people who hold the future of St. Lucia in our hands. Today, we are overjoyed. We are elated, and rightly so, for we have cause to be. And as we proceed to wish our country happy birthday, we present to St. Lucia no better gift than what she gave us ourselves. But we have bettered that gift. We have used our creativity, our imagination, our initiative, and our enthusiasm. And we present her with our talents, a symbol of our ingenuity, which she herself bestowed upon us. Our first song, Unity, was composed by Inspector Rudolph Charles and is very popular with school children and adults. It is a national song and emphasizes the fact that unity is a necessary part of our growth as a nation. We also place all our endeavors in the hands of God, in whom we get all the confidence we need to progress.
I'm going to pause for a while, but I don't know how many of you remember this song. I don't know how many of you remember 1989, because what I realized with Solutions, you guys forget a lot. And you forget because you are so party blind that it's funny, you can't even see through your own history. You can't look back and remind yourself how your nation got where it is now. And I don't know how, if you're not focused enough, because if you are focused enough, you can course correct. The necessary changes can be made. But many of you are party hacks. Yes, I said it. In the United Workers' Party, in the Labour Party, you're not for the development of a nation. You're a bunch of party hacks fighting for a big position somewhere. Look at the history of your country. The sacrifice of a people. Huh? Look at where your country came from and where it is now. And it seems to me that the grounds that they were celebrating independence on in 1989 was in better condition than it is now. Tell me if you're proud of where you are with your roads, with the evil in your party, the nastiness and divisiveness, cussing people off. Persons who have been stern party supporters throughout the years, because they don't support who you want them support, they are evil, they are no good. They're a bunch of idiots that should be cast out of St. Lucia. And that's the development that you are comfortable with, that kind of ghetto-ish place that you want to be. I don't like you, so I take you out by any means. Is that what we have become? No wonder we cannot attract good politicians who love their country enough to put their selfish ambitions aside and focus on development, nation building. Why can't we get back to nation building? Why it have to be every time my government is in power, I want to drag this one to court, drag that one to court. Every time one is in power, there's an inquiry. There's stopping of projects that are important for nation development. Just to prove a blasted point. Forgive me. You said that I'm bad, so let me just be bad tonight. Where, my friends, do we get the idea that nation building is to stop projects that should continue? Why are there government buildings and projects just sitting there? Millions of dollars in loans. And you little hacks, you are out there singing for your bread and singing for your butter and your cheap wine. And we, as thinkers and earth movers, should come online and cheer you on as the greatest of the greatest. It ain't going to happen. Let's go back. Let's go back. It's time for you people to start reasoning for yourself. Stop being henpecked. Stop being fooled. All that glitter cannot be gold. Ask the Chinese about that. It is time for you to think for yourself, people. Reason for yourselves. Somebody asks you all for some a school bag or some school books for children. Oh, you find all kind of excuse. Anything else, You jump on board and you're ready to go. Because your mind, you need to take your head out of the sand and see what is happening to you. Don't be a party hack. Be part of the solution of the nation. Be part of nation building. Let's go back to that clip. I want to remind you, and some of you need to look and see if you were there standing on the park. And tell me if the grass was not greener then than now. They say the grass is green on the other side. Tell me if the grass was not greener then and the park was not kept in better condition with less. We have more now. We have more. And we are in the worst condition while you are fighting and cursing each other's up. You're cursing each other's mother. You're cursing each other. You're bringing up each other's past. As if you don't have a past too. Some of you are a bunch of thieves and robbers too. A bunch of hypocrites. Yes. All of us have fallen short and have done some wrong. But let's get back to nation building. There's a place to deal with everything. You have the courts. You have the church. You have other civic organizations that you can deal with conflict that cannot be dealt with because some people, they are so ignorantly ignorant that you can't even talk to them. You can't even reason with them. But let's go back to nation building. Lest we are distracted by ourselves. And then we hand to our next generation an environment that we did not get for ourselves. And you know what I was taught in school? That you got to leave the planet better than you got it. In other words, hand over a country in a better condition than you got it. John Compton gave you all the place. And thank God the dead don't walk nowhere, because if he walked back in that area, I am sure he would die again. Well, and wake up dead. Huh? You look around your nation and you're like, is this what it is? I left the standpipe there. The standpipe with the same blue paint on it. The standpipe is still there. You wake up and you go to St. Jude and you're looking at the thing and you're saying, but wait a minute, this is exactly what we left here. You all put paint on it and you all do this. This is what we left. Stadiums are crumbling. Government buildings infected with mold, yet we can't find a solution with all the engineers. Can't find a solution to deal with mold. Where's the building code? Where's the department that is responsible for infrastructure and building, where you can bring in the necessary professionals so that they can guide you on policies and guidelines that you can put in place for persons who are desiring to build any structure in St. Lucia to accommodate large people? That things be put in place to have proper air circulation, a proper air vac system, so that people will not get sick. Our women will not die from cancer because they are sitting in an air-conditioned place that has not been serviced for years, that buildup of mold. And then you say, well, we have lung cancer and all kind of kidney problems in St. Lucia. Go check your buildings. Half of those people work in government buildings, and they're dying from sicknesses that they should not die from, because there's no environmental protection system. And what we want to talk about here, you want to cuss each other off. Who slept with Johnny? who did this when they were young. That's how you're gonna save those women in the workplace dying with all sorts of respiratory problems. When all your government have to do is to step up on policing contractors and builders to put proper building code together to deal with climate change and to deal with the air circulating problems we have in our buildings. You think that building is just putting up a big structure with an elevator and some dry wall on concrete and put in some cheap air condition in the ceiling without proper air vac systems? And half of those, I'm telling you, half of those air vents in these buildings, they are not cushioned or padded on the inside. It is just the metal itself that the air running through. Now you think about it. Hot and cold comes together. What do you get? Condensation. Up there going to start sweating. Then the water is going to drip. Then what do you get? Mold. You know how long it takes before you start seeing the effect of mold in your place? By then, you have respiratory problems. Anyway, let's go back to nation building. Because many of us are distracted with noise. And with those bitter people who are angry. They are angry. They can't get their position in time. They can smell the position. They can see, oh, if only they can call elections today, I will be an ambassador. I will be the president of this. And I will have, They're licking their chops. Can't wait for elections to call. It's all about them. Go push wheelbarrows. Anyway, let's get back. Let's not be distracted. Bunch of hypocrites. Let's go to 1898. Y'all look for yourself because some of you might see your cousin right there. 1989, I saw Romanus Lancico. Sorry about that, folks. I'm sorry. I get so excited. Sorry about that. I was looking forward to the launch of the independence celebration this year. Today, the government did the ceremony online, the launch of independence. Reverend, let me tell you something. Just like the grass on that field is better than now, the GIS service back then was better quality than what was done this morning. It was an embarrassment. It was an embarrassment. I'm going to say it again. And that's why I went back to 1989. All the technology and the systems that we have now to broadcast. And by the way, I have an expensive broadcast system in this studio. Yes. But you would not see my video except that there's a problem at Verizon. You would not see my videos sticking and bringing all different colors together. Today, the government, the National Broadcasting Network, the government station, on the launch of the independence celebration, NTN could not have gotten it right. It was an embarrassment in the system. The GIS in 1989 had a better system of broadcasting than what we see now. Just like the grass was better in 1989. Look at the grounds. And the maintenance of those buildings were better in 1989. The GIS, the National Television Network, gave crappy service today. It was an embarrassment, and I would call on the government to do it again. Now, I'm seeing a face there. I'm seeing a face that I could recognize in the independence celebration. Let's go. She looked like she's now one of the women president of the United Workers Party. There's one of them there. I saw her. She worked at a bank in St. Lucia some years ago. Some of you say I'm not St. Lucian, and I know more of St. Lucia than any one of you.
I will now call on the Honorable Minister for Education and Culture, Honorable Louis George, to give the welcome address.
Listen to her English.
It's a privilege and an honor for me to extend a welcome to Your Royal Highness, to this fair isle, and to this rally. We are indeed very happy that you have graced us with your presence.
Folks, that is the Honorable Louis George. We're having our own independence lunch tonight. Yes, I said it. Because for those of you who went online to view what was happening, they tried, but it was an embarrassment. I'm not beating the government, but I believe that the system, and even though I said to them, just reset your system, it continued until the end with the same problem. Why do we have a national broadcasting system that at a time when you need it most, suppose there is a disaster in the land, you have no generator, you can't function, no emergency backup system at NTN to continue broadcasting? I can broadcast if there's an emergency and there's no power. I can broadcast right here on this platform. Why can't you do it? Anyway, let's not fight that. But I want to get to John Compton's speech. But I don't know how many of you remember Mr. George.
Unity and nationalism, the various artistic and dramatic presentations, the many social and educational programs have all been designed to heighten the awareness of the important contributions that you can make towards nation building. Let me therefore impress upon you of the need to
Reverend, look at the grounds
to the task of building a strong nation. A nation that will grow and continue to advance in peace and prosperity. A nation
at least
that
I
will
only
be
saw one
concerned to
pothole
promote
that
the
looked like a
good
manhole.
and welfare of all her people. I take this opportunity to personally congratulate the people and the teachers of this country, in particular, for your contributions.
At least the teachers look well dressed. They don't look like dolls.
Thank you, Mr. Minister. Indeed,
Who is this girl?
independence means that we hold our destiny in our hands. And as young people, faith has been placed in us.
She speaks like Cleopatra.
Our country looks up to us tomorrow to build a stronger nation, an even better nation. I am light, I am love,
Oh my.
I am St. Lucia.
My God.
This next rendition was written by Mr. Clement Springer. We are telling ourselves that we are not divorced from our motto, the land, the people, the light.
Oh, Cleopatra, you know her. she was at A levels. Marcelina John. Beautiful voice. C'est juste ça, c'est mon même comme moi, pas même parler l'anglais. English. They want to be press secretaries, all kind of thing, and they can't speak nothing. Can't have a proper discussion. Oh, she's a lawyer now. Somebody said this young woman. Let me stop. Let's stop for a minute. Somebody said that the MC here, she is a lawyer. She is a lawyer. She is Mr. Kenneth Mondesi's the lawyer daughter. Yes? Oh my God. Memory. Let's go back over to... But this place looks like the Mendel Phillip Park. Is this the park in Marcia? She's a lawyer. Okay.
Right Honorable Prime Minister.
Because I need some lawyer right now, so I'll get her.
3 chairs for the Prime Minister. Hip, hip.
Monsieur, me Prime Minister nou ka vini.
Hip, hip.
Everybody stand up. Hey, before my Prime Minister speaks, y'all got to be at attention. Uchekli, right now it's the launch of our independence celebration tonight. So y'all, if y'all drinking rum, put down the rum. If y'all, whatever y'all doing, y'all lie down nicely, sit down, do whatever it is, be nice. Our Prime Minister, the father of the nation, is taking the stage. Anuale.
Today, in the lives of all St. Lucians, be they young or be they old, be they at home with us today or abroad, having their memories with us. As all of us turn our hearts homeward to celebrate together this 10th year of the independence of our country. But you, the children who are assembled here today, will have special memories of this day.
Seeley said it's the Mendel
because to
Phillip
celebrate
Park.
with us is a very honored guest, His Royal Highness, the Prince of Wales. And in your name and on your behalf, I bid him welcome to St. Lucia.
Lady Compton, nipu vie at the United Workers Party and kind of put the Bali.
That Prince Charles has honored us with his presence at this celebration is not only the highest esteem in which our country is held, but also his sense of duty and service, which takes him to all part of this far from Commonwealth of which St. Lucia is a part. But we have with us not only Prince Charles, we have with us the leaders of other friendly nations. We have with us today the Prime Minister of Barbados, and I bid you to give him a special welcome. The others here representing their country at the ambassadorial level, countries with whom we have special relations, whether by geography and by history. And I want to thank them for doing us the honor for being here with us today. I also want to thank the servicemen from the visiting navies that participated with us with our Royal St. Lucia Police Force, with our fire services, with our reserves, with our cadets, with our St. John's Ambulance, with other voluntary organizations, to put on that magnificent parade that we saw last night.
I want to tell them that it's a special honor they have done to us. We consider the presence of His Royal Highness not merely as adding
Just
royal
bear with us.
glamour and dignity to these our celebrations, but
It will come
let
together.
that sense of duty and service which brings him here be an inspiration to you, our youth.
Now, that is just the clip that is doing that, but please, it will self-correct.
Affection throughout the world.
Yes.
His personal involvement in the preservation of things beautiful and the protection of
I believe
our
it's Errol
environment
Barrow.
has focused governmental attention and galvanized public response to an aspect of human behavior which, unless corrected, can leave us with a sad legacy for us and for our children. The interest of His Royal Highness in St. Lucia is not confined to royal and ceremonial duties. When Hurricane Allen struck in St. Lucia in 1980, Prince Charles was one of the first persons to send a financial contribution to St. Lucia through our mission in London. He has shown his concern to the rehabilitation of those of our youth who have fallen victim to drug abuse, and given the impetus to our economic development through his chairmanship of the Commonwealth Development Corporation, which was responsible for things that we know so intimately as the Rodney Bay development, the generation and distribution of electricity to the remotest communities of this island, the provision of homes for our people through the St. Lucia Mortgage Finance Company. These are the bonds of friendship which give added meaning to his royal presence here amongst us. His Royal Highness has visited St. Lucia before as a young naval officer, and even in his all too brief stay on this occasion, he would have seen many physical changes and improvements we have made in our country. This is in keeping with the pledge that we made on this very ground 10 years ago, when we obtained our independence and the responsibility for our own affairs. We pledged, the children who stood in your places pledged, that we would endeavor to fulfill this pledge, that not only we would do no worse than those who hitherto controlled our destiny, but we shall strive to do better than they did. And I'm sure that looking around, we would say that we have done better. Now, 10 years later, we can look around and see how well we had kept that pledge, as the evidence is all around us. Today, we not only have more children at school, but we have more schools and more teachers better trained and equipped to impart education to our children. We've expanded the basic human needs of water, electricity, and health services to every major community on this island. We've encouraged our farmers to increase their productivity, and they have responded. We have sought to keep our country peaceful and beautiful, and visitors have flocked to our shores to share with us that alluring and magical beauty of our land. Although there is still much to be done, more of our people are at work today than any time in our history. So today we have...
Folks, I'm going to interrupt my daddy, Mr. Compton. Mr. Compton is my daddy. All right? And I have great respect for him. I remember years ago, I was a little younger. I was on a stage with him in Denry. I don't know if a lot of people remember that. It was my first time praying. I remember I came to a Sunday night church meeting, and they had just set up the stage where they do the Denry Fish Festival now. And John Compton came to rally. I'm not sure who it was for, but he came to rally for one of the representative there that was going up for elections. And they called me, they said, look, you do the opening prayer, you know. And then I was elected as the chaplain at one point for that Denry branch. That was years ago. I can't remember. I know I was elected by Edme Celestin and John. You know, I don't know if you know Brother John. He was a builder in Denry. And so they said to me, you go, because they know that I'm the fearless one, you know, because, you know, they said, no, Adventists not supposed to be in politics. So they say, you go, because they know I could not have done anything else, because all we knew was the United Workers' Party, nothing else. We could not have said anything about it concerning the Labour Party. I would get put out. My father would come at me with everything, you know. And so, but they pushed me along, and, you know, I functioned not for long there, you know. But what I want to say to you folks, that if you look at history, you are in the right hands with this United Workers' Party. Now, there are some people in that party that God himself would remove them, or some strong delusion will come and they will confuse themselves. And you got to believe that. I still believe righteousness exalts a nation. You are in the right hands. Looking at the history of the development of your nation. And if our leaders now in the United Workers' Party would reflect on the vision of leaders past, I believe that there will be no mountain there would be no mountain that this party would not be able to bull loose through or removed. We would be like C.O. Williams. The United Workers' Party need to be like C.O. Williams or Daito, moving mountains, moving boulders out of the way. We got to remind ourselves that the United Workers' Party, it is not what you see, the fights. It is not the political divide. The party is much bigger than those who seek to divide and conquer. That's why I take you back to this history, 1989, to remind you that this party is bigger than the John Compton family. This party, it is bigger than Alan Shastney. It is bigger than any person, Stephenson King, and all the others, much bigger. Leaders will come and fall. Leaders will apostatize. Well, that's the word. Leaders will abandon their post and their loyalty to join forces with other parties. But the United Workers' Party will continue to be a machine, just like C.O. Williams, conquering all the obstacles that are set to slow down or retard the progress. And that's why what I want to see as a genuine supporter of the United Workers' Party, it's more unity and less divide. Better together. Some people will say, well, snakes. There are snakes in the party. Listen to me. What each of us need to do is to ensure that we are not snakes. That's how you avoid snakes. Some of us will call others snake, but we are snakes ourselves. When things don't go our way, we say things and we stay home and we do a lot of stuff. Many of you stayed home during the last elections. They might as well consider you a snake. And I got to tell you the truth. It will set me free. It will set you free. Yes, sometimes we play with the truth to get out of situations, But the truth will always set you free. When you speak the truth, let me tell you, when you tell a lie and somebody find you out that you tell a lie, you feel, listen to me, you feel good. If you have a good conscience, you feel good like hell, you sleep good because you say, finally the truth came out. Thank God the truth came out. But some of you fight even though the truth come out, you're still fighting wrong and strong. But I will say to you folks, ensure that you and I are not snakes. Ensure that you take part in the democracy of your country. If elections are called, you do your duty. You go out and you vote. You have the opportunity to go to meetings, the council meetings. Let your voices be heard. And many of you don't go to meetings, but you complain and you're a snake. If a meeting is called and you're staying home, or boycotting it, or you push up your mouth, you're not going because you don't like the secretary, you're a snake. Period. How many of you call your office, your local community office, to ask them, when is the next meeting? How can I get involved? Snakes in the camp. If you did not vote in the last elections, and you wasn't sick, or you wasn't dead, then you're a snake. Hi. Brethren, if people can leave New York, jump on JetBlue, know that they would not be able to pay their rent when they go back. Yes. A lot of them, they go there, take their last dollar, fly to St. Lucia to go and vote against you who live on shore. When they go back, they can't pay their rent. They can't catch up. And you in St. Lucia, nothing wrong with you. You listen to a lie. That Mr. Guy Joseph is a thief. And I'm just did steal all the people money. Miss Fletcher is not good. Dr. Fletcher is not good. Guy Joseph not good. Spider is not good. You listen and you question your party. You're a snake. You come in and call Mr. King Snake. At least he shred his skin. But you are still there in your snake skin. Then you complaining, oh, look what the government is. Look at our roads. Ride in your holy roads. You all become priests when you're all holy roads. That's what you deserve. Bunch of hypocrites. Some of you complaining you never vote in your life. You don't even have an ID card. And you're complaining about everything in the party. The party. You don't even know how the party functions. You don't even know the constitution of your party. You're just like Roro. I do like the white man, the white man, the white man. Yes, UWP, I hear you all. I heard you all. The party, the party, the party, the white man, the white man. They ain't give me no money. They ain't give me no money. You vote against our friend in Denry, my friend, Estefan. Everybody else is saying the man worked, the man this, the man developed. Even when I went down to St. Lucia, I'm shocked. I'm like, this place is beautiful. I love it. I love it. And because Este was helping not only the Labour Party, but his own party was treating everybody like their citizens. Some of you get mad. Oh, he was helping the SLP more than he helping us. You bunch of hypocrites. Everybody is, listen to me. Everybody is everybody. Everybody is human. Everybody got to eat. That's why I don't believe in firing nobody. If government go out, come in there, fire everybody in the community. You look at some of these city council people, workers, or village council workers. All of them one party people. Bunch of hacks. And you throw, the man under the bus. Now there is no electricity in the Daito. Fishermen have to light candles. There was more light during John Compton time when there was the dark ages, when they had to go and light the lamp in the streets with a flabo. There was more light then now than they have at Daito. Fishermen have to come with flashlights. No electricity. Huh? And you're talking about Mr. What's his name? He's a snake. You know who is the real snake? Those who abandoned their party at a time when their party needed them the most. And I dare you to come for me, because right now I don't care. Because if I can beat the Labour Party and I can speak about them, I can speak about the wrongs among us. All of us need to get rid of our snaky ways so that the party, because you see, when the United Workers' Party become healthy, then your democracy becomes healthy. Right now, everybody's watching everybody's back. Everybody's telling you to watch him, watch her. Tababo, that's one is not flabo. Watch that, watch that. Tout moun ka ve, tout moun. Bunch of snakes. Everybody is watching everybody. What kind of race is this? What kind of democracy is this? St. Lucia has become a surveillance state. Tout moun ka ve yon a lot. Mais yo pa wè se criminals la ki ka tre moun. Yo pa ve se criminals la. Ek se criminals la ki ka vole tout se la di de gouvernement. Yo pa ve sa. They're watching the little supporters out there. And some of them have a hit list for party supporters. This one is not a UWP. That one is not a UWP. This one is not a genuine UWP. Who the hell tell you who is genuine? If some of you get a big money to shut up, you'll shut the hell up and you'll go home with your money and don't vote. That's the hypocrisy that we got to speak out. I'm sick. I'm not supposed to be here online. But listen to me. I just felt that I needed to be here. I was sick from since Thursday. Under the sheet, shaking like a battery. But I had to come to sweat. Because the hypocrisy will not help our party to survive. You're going to have, listen to me, you all don't realize what you're all doing, you know. You all are developing a whole set of independent voters. That's what you are doing. Yes, you have the hard Labour Party and you have the hard United Workers' Party supporters. But there is also a group in the center. Those are what you call the educated voters. They are the ones really who sits there and they watch both sides. So no matter how you shout and scream at them and you spit on them, no matter how you impeck them and you lie to them, no matter if you bring Joseph Niles from the grave to come and sing, they will not be moved. What will move them is your policies. Huh? What will move them is your policies for nation building, for developing your nation. Folks, you do not understand how far back we are in St. Lucia. When it comes to climate change, when it comes when it comes to energy, the energy sector, when it comes to electronic voting, when it comes to to issuing even your passport. In 1989, you would get your passport in 2-3 weeks. On time, delivered in time. Even though they had horses to deliver them, you would get your passport signed and delivered in time. And if John Compton had to deliver it himself, he would drive in his old van through the banana field and he would drop it for you, I am sure. So I am saying that we are way behind. We can't even issue passports properly. From 1989 to now, we can't issue passports properly. From 1989 to now, I cannot go online in St. Lucia and get my medical records. From 1989 to now, I cannot go to the hospital and get an emergency CAT scan for free. When I say free, well, you're paying something and you get all the medical you need. You get a medical card. The independent voters, the youth voters, there is a set of voters, and I've listened to some of them. Young people. You see all the cussing you all doing on Facebook among yourself? You see when I was involved in this whole donation thing and the cussing off and everything else? These young people are turned off by that, you know. I am speaking to some young people, they're like, I don't like them things, huh? I. They don't know. They don't care. Them young people want to know if they will get a scholarship down the road. If when they get out of school, they can get a job. Well, I know for now, they can't get no job in Soufriere because these old people who should be at their homes enjoying their pension, they are getting $8,000 a month plus other benefits. So the young people know in Soufriere, there ain't no help for them there. Ain't it? So Mr. Stanislas need to assure these young people that he, once he get into office, would clean up that place. Get it back on track. Get some of these young people on some of these boards, the Soufriere Foundation, the town council. Get young people involved. Let these old people go and enjoy their money. For God's sake. Imagine you prefer to build those ramp for old people when you have to push them in wheelchair into the office. You prefer to build a ramp to take a senior citizen off their bed because they're your cousin, to push them up a ramp and pay them thousands of dollars when you have a young person that can jump up the steps, jump through the window, and go and do some work on the computer. Mr. Stanislas, you got to assure these young people that they can get a job when they are finished school in Taiwan, when they are finished studying in Barbados and the United States, that they can come home and there is a place for these young people. These old people fighting, just like I saw an old woman fighting the children for their little joyride. Woman, get off the thing and go home. Fighting the children for the little ride to go on the ride, and she push up her mouth. And that's what we do these young people in the banks. Why you think the police force fighting for leaders? Because everybody's entitled. Everybody's supposed to be commissioner. Everybody's supposed to be at the head. There's a rat race for the head. And by the way, there's a big fight in government now. Some of you not hearing it, I'm not going to tell you. Big fight because everybody is prime minister material. Listen to me. When you play with little dogs, you will get fleas. I don't know how you say it in Creole. I think is Leo ka jouer ek chien ou ka hen pinez. Is that right? Well, I got to come back and learn my Creole. But when you sleep with dogs, you get fleas. And you think that you can control a tiger by patting it on the back and giving it rabbit meat to eat. You think you can control a beast for long? You think you can control a beast for long? That beast is a beast. And the beast is already looking uncomfortable as far as I'm concerned. And you better watch your back. Because that beast is going to strike you so hard that instead of Chasney name you're hearing, it's going to be your name, Mr. Philip Chipe. You will be the next best thing for lunch when the beast is ready for you. Hello. You can pat the beast for long. You can't tame it. It will continue to be a beast. And that's my advice to you. Prepare to be the best new thing on social media, night after night. You, my friend, will be called the weakest prime minister and the worst of the worst. Very soon, all your private documents will be leaked. Very soon, just a few months from now, all will be leaked. Trust me. You cannot sleep with a beast. And don't expect the beast one day to get a nightmare and kick you in your sleep by mistake. A beast will always be a beast. So I'm just saying that. And let me say also to the United Workers' Party, you have some beasts among you too. Those beasts, you can pat them, you can feed them caviar, an expensive wine. But those beasts would hinder the progress of your great United Workers' Party. My advice to you, stop eating your own. Know who is for you and who is not. This is my advice to you. Be careful who you throw under the bus. And that's just a word of advice, because some of you like to beat down the Labour Party and to give them all kind of mépris, but when it comes to yourself, you can't take mépris. I am no independent UWP. I am what I am. But I'll say to you, I don't have to prove anything to anybody. You hear me? The only thing I have to be sure of is my calling an election. Not earthly one, but I know whom I believe, and I'm persuaded. But I will say to you, be careful who you're watching. You might be watching the wrong person. Now, I just want to say to the United Workers' Party, congratulations. You need to get some momentum going. It is exciting to know that you're on track. I heard Dennery, is it North? I just put up the announcement. Let's put it back up and we together for a few minutes. Let's go back over to that announcement. Again, the United Workers' Party Dennery North Branch public meeting February 1st at 5:30 p.m. If you are not a snake, go and let your voices be heard. Go and register before the convention. How many of you have ever been to a convention? You so much UWP. How many of you? You're somebody UWP. Ay, ay, ay. You're John Compton UWP. Why don't you go to the public meetings? Fill those places if you're serious. No wonder people are taking your party hostage and they're treating you anyhow because only 5 of you go to the meetings. 4 of you. Out of thousands of voters, you can't get even 500 of them to show up at a meeting. And you call it King Snake. You're a bunch of snakes yourself. I say it again. And I dare you come for me. Via supper. If you are interested in your party, you will not only wear your party colors, but you will show up at meetings and you will let your voices be heard. When something is not going right, the meeting, that's what the meetings are for. You go there, any other business, you open your mouth and you let folks know respectfully how you feel. Don't cuss nobody off. Some of you cuss too much. You're a bunch of cuss birds. So, the public meeting, I put it up there long enough. The public meeting is on Dennery North. I think that is Therapolio's district. Go, it's at the Larry Shoes Parish Hall. Go there. Fill that place. And those of you branches who have your announcements, send it in. Y'all are not using us enough. You're just cussing us out and doing all kind of nonsense. If you want to work, let's get to work. Send the information, send the announcements. And let's get the people out. All you're doing is cussing off. King is already out of your party. King is not a United Workers Party anymore. He made it very clear. Why are you talking about him still? The man already tell you whose side he on. Leave him alone. You just pull your house together and move on. Some of you looking around for the next snake. The next snake might be you. Snake. So, said in the meeting, there was another group. I think it was either Soufre. I lost that announcement. There's another group who came together and they support people. They had their president and everything else. Their chairperson, everything was already selected. I think it's Soufre. Can somebody help me out? Is it Soufre? Come on, folks. I'm serious about my party. I'm not going to let nobody throw me off. I thank God for the time I took to get myself together and everything. Right now is fire and work. Let's get to work. Nobody come to me with no garbage, no nonsense. Who sleep with this one? Blah, 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 blah. If there's a problem, I have a personal problem, I know where to go in the courts. I know who I'm not supposed to be talking to. I'm very much aware of that. I was naive, stupid, and ignorant. I know where to go. I know where I will go. I know how I will deal. But what I will not do is to let anybody use me as any pawn to tell me if I don't do this, they will do that. No, you will not. Period. There's too much work to be done for us to be distracted, cussing off each other. Not on this platform. We will use it to assist going into the convention. We will use it to help to mobilize the different branches. Send me the announcements. That's what we need to do. Thanks, Dr. Fletcher, my spiritual mother. There was Castries East, Swazel, Anger, and is it Dennery? Yes, so they're coming together. But Dennery, is it South? We have not heard anything. I'm trying to get the representative there in Dennery. I have not been able to be successful for a while. because there are some persons who need to register before convention, and I am almost in the dark. I tried to make some calls there. Somebody was supposed to set me up, and we have not been able to do that yet. All right? Some of you are too focused on the Labour Party. Labour Party have their house together. They have all the conventions already. Anger. Yeah. Anson, I ain't listening to you on this platform tell me what I am, strong or weak. You're not Jesus Christ. And it's a bad night to tell me that, because right now, you on your side, I am on my side. Tonight, I'm not preaching. I am dealing with hard stuff right now. So for you to tell me whether I'm strong or weak, I think you're on the wrong platform. Brother Anson, you're not on the rooftop. When you was on the rooftop and I was talking to you, fine. Right now, we are on to Flabo business. If you're not Flabo, stay out of our stuff. Pray for us. Or send stars, send monies to help us bus people to the convention. But don't come and tell me if I'm strong or weak. And by the way, I don't eat macaroni and cheese. It's cow foot and all kind of soup and stuff. I don't have no mosquito on my chest. Not my bien. Your shoulder ain't wide enough to accommodate me. Because right now, I'm fearless. I strong. Once you tell me I ain't strong, I come in for you. I strong. The science of politics, listen to me. The science of politics is simple. It's simple politics. So let's just get down to business. Anson just trying to distract us. Anson, go by KKRR or go on anybody else for now, because right now we're doing housework. We have convention coming up. We have no lawsuits against us. We have no embargo or not telling us we can't. No, Anson, you're not going to be back punching back tonight. Right now, we're on fire. We have a meeting in Dennery North, February 1st at 5:30 p.m. What we need you to do is to help us to get a van to transport our people safely to and from their communities there to the La Richou's Parish Hall. And that is at 5:30 p.m. All right? Good. So, next side, Lot Cote. We're not staying long on any subject because the heat is on. Let's just follow that heat, brethren. All right? So, the United Workers' Party, they're gearing up. They everything look good. All the lawsuits and everything, not lawsuits, but what do you call it? The restraining order. Not restraining order. The injunction was the injunction was removed. It was not even an injunction, by the way, because it is sad, we're not going to go back into that, but it is sad that the party had to suffer for so long before they were able to get their convention together. But I am still happy because a lot of things that have happened between that time, a lot of persons came out, showed themselves, showed their loyalty. And what I want to say to United Workers' Party, not because somebody does not support Mr. Shastney, it means that they're not a United Workers' Party supporter. I want to say that again. Not because somebody is not supporting Mr. Shastney, it means that they're bad and they need to be treated like a dog. We cannot do that. We got to go back to our core value as a party. Stronger together, better together. So I'm going to say to us, let's not insult persons who were once leaders in the party. What we have created is one too many disgruntled former UWPs. They are simple fix to a lot of these problems. And our problem, I suspect, in the party is that we like to We like to not get involved when we should to deal with conflict. And so the conflict becomes so deep. One thing you cannot do is to ignore people, especially when they have concerns or they're uncomfortable. You don't curse them off. The first thing you do, curse them off and say, go, 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 you're a snake, you're not good. No, you don't do that. You want to listen. You want to reason. And if it gets to a point where there is no reasoning can prevail, then you do not launch an attack. Because I'll tell you that one person can have a good 20 supporters that you will need. So the strategy should change. Coming out of convention, I do not believe that you should come out divided or with enemies. You should come out united. There must be every effort made to reconcile people together. There are some I know that should not be allowed in any leadership position ever in the party because they have caused too much damage. A little wisdom goes a long way. Huh? But it's the truth. There are a lot of persons that you would not want to put them back into leadership, into any leadership role, especially when it comes to the United Workers' Party in itself. And every effort should be made. And I think there needs to be a separate unit within the United Workers' Party. That unit should be for reconciliation and for conflict resolution. Don't let it come to the general floor. Don't let the conflict show up in the branches. Don't let it spread. The bitterness spread. Maybe you have that unit, but I believe it is time to review it, to look at it. It should be legal minds, Christians, persons, who can manage conflict and deal. So you will not be embarrassed in the court. You will not be embarrassed in the media. You will not have supporters of the SLP influencing what is happening in your organization. And by the way, if you're a Labour Party supporter, why are you bothering with the internal affairs of the United Workers' Party? Why? Why would you do so? For me, if I am not supporting the United Workers' Party 100%, listen to me, I join in forces with the Labour Party and I'm going to make sure that I give you hell. But I'm not going to stay in. And I mean do all this foolishness on the inside of the party. No. Each person is entitled to choose a side. And you also are entitled to say, look, I can no longer be a United Workers' Party supporter. You're entitled to do that. But what I'm saying, don't run elections knowing that you're not in 100%. And then when you get into power, then you join forces with the Labour Party, damaging at a crucial point. An election is approaching, days behind the corner, and you come out with this deadly wound. And then you expect that party will bring you or your supporters or your representatives into their meetings? That would be criminal. That would be craziness. I know I have made a terrible mistake, but that would have been worse than what I did. At least I acted out of frustration and anger and fed upness, if that's a word. But for God's sake, That's not what you want. Malcolm says somebody's guilty. I don't know who's guilty. But I sure have not done anything to anybody here. And God knows that for me, my intentions are pure. Persons want to get into personal matters and misunderstand the situation and believe a lie over the truth. That's up to you, but let's stay back on point. Let's use wisdom moving forward. Because what you want to do is to attract a breed of politicians that can think, not now, but think way ahead. Better hospitals, better airports, better roads, bridges, and tunnels, if you please. Main roads and bypasses. Preserving our forests, our trees, the greeneries. Restricted areas. St. Lucia need restricted areas where not even foreigners are allowed to build or to put a stone there. There need to be restricted areas. There need to be restricted areas. We need more markings on our roads. Barriers on precipice to protect our drivers. More speed bumps. More checkpoints. More mobile units, police units. We need more. We need politicians that can look beyond the now and see the then. How can we leave a better St. Lucia to our grandchildren? How do we do that? Malcolm, sorry about that. Malcolm, you're my friend. But let's close because I want, but honestly, the districts, I want you to send me your ads, send me your updates with your new membership, your new leadership, and let me put it on the platform. Because people need to know and people need to see that there is something happening, that the party is coming together. All right? It's coming together, and we also got to share the information with people, how they can register, how they can pay their little $10 or $5, whatever it is, how they can register. Okay, I'm getting a call. Let's take this call. Caller, you on the air. Hold a minute, please. Just give me 1 minute. I'm just trying to get my system set up. You're calling from? University poll?
We are conducting an independent public opinion survey in New York City, and we're interested in your opinions about some important issues in the news.
Okay, can you call me back at 9:30? I'll be happy to be a part of this. Can you call me back at 9:30?
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Can you call me back at 9:30? Hello?
What time?
9:30. And you're calling from?
I'm calling from Connecticut. I can barely hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
You're calling from Connecticut and this is a poll?
Yes.
Concerning what?
It's an independent public opinion survey for New York City, and we're interested in your opinions about some important issues in the news.
The news? Okay, I'm doing the news now, so I will have you to call me back at 9:30 or 8 o'clock in the morning.
The poll ends at 9:30.
Oh my God, I won't be able to answer it now. I'm on the air live for the program.
Okay, well, thank you for your time, sir.
Yeah. So, brethren, you see, they even want to do poll on me with the news, but let's go back to to our closing. Let's just look at the rest of this ad for the minute, and then we will. I would see if you want to call for a few minutes, and then we will just call it a night and get back on tomorrow. We continue tomorrow. Oh, Chris Wilson said it is Swazel. Swazel had their meeting and selected their leaders. And Wilson is also saying Denrid North Wednesday at 5:30. Okay, good. Okay, good. So let's go back to this.
God, and celebrate this important milestone in our history. Your Royal Highness would note that in these celebrations, as in the past, we have placed much emphasis upon our youth, their achievements and their hopes. We have planned much of our celebrations around them, as this is the foundation upon we wish to build out the future of our country. A country as small as ours, which has but little influence in the councils of the world, where decisions are made which determine the future of our country, we are fortunate, however, that we are a member of the Commonwealth family of nations, where the application of moral principles ensure that the rights of small nations are not trampled underfoot. In the security of this family, we can spend our limited resources upon the education of our children and not squander it upon weapons of war. Today, 1/3 of all our public expenditure is spent on the education of our youth, giving them the opportunities for advancement that their grandfathers and grandmothers, and even their fathers and mothers, never had. I therefore implore you, children, to use this opportunity wisely. Use it to move to greater and greater heights of achievement. Use it that you can build that rung of ladder of progress upon which your own children can ascend to greater and greater heights of achievement. As you, our children, meet to celebrate our 20th anniversary, and your own children, when they celebrate the 20th anniversary, they'll be meeting to usher in the 21st century with all exciting possibilities. The quality of life in St. Lucia, then, will depend upon the preparation that you make now, how well you prepare yourself to meet life's challenges and to grasp life's opportunities. Whether St. Lucia will be in the vanguard of progress or in the backwaters of decline will depend upon you, upon whose shoulders the responsibility of leadership in every field will fall. It is for you to sustain and advance the progress of St. Lucia and prepare the ground for the next generation who will succeed you. But your ambitions, your hopes, your dreams should not be confined within the narrow borders of a small island. As sooner or later, you will try to move to greener pastures, and St. Lucia and the Caribbean will be poorer for your absence. You must therefore raise your sights and look beyond the borders of our small island to the wider Caribbean, as there is where your future lies. You must resist the temptation to seek brief but destructive thrills through drugs, to squander your youth in idleness, because one of the things that come not back is a wasted youth or a lost opportunity. You have shared...
Now, we're going to pause that, but wow, Mr. Compton said a lot. And I believe we have squandered a lot of monies and time, resources, and sadly, our development is way behind our hospitals. We are still building hospitals just for tomorrow. And we are willing to downsize airports, downsize our roads in order for some temporary gratification, while we miss the opportunity to leave a better and a bigger St. Lucia for the next generation. And that's why I say to you, get involved in the democracy of your nation. Get involved in the democracy. Remind yourselves, and I will continue to be here to remind you through these old voice notes from 1989 and even further, how important it is for us to remain focused as a nation, and that we focus on nation building. Yes, we have our egos and we would like big positions and big money. But for God's sake, let us think about the future of our generations. And that's what I leave with you, folks. Let's get rid of this greed, wastage. And I'm asking the United Workers' Party, yes, you're going to be in government. There is no question about it. But you got to promise the people of St. Lucia that if there are projects that are good, projects that will benefit the people of St. Lucia, please let it continue. If you have done all your internal reviews and there is no problem, let the projects continue. Try your best to control your firing. Because the person that you're firing, you're taking out of a job, has a family that they got to feed. It is time for us to review the methods that we have used in the past so that we can build a stronger St. Lucia. So I say to you folks, yes, when you take over government, you will have to change a lot of persons in position. Some of them are mischievous, dangerous. And yes, you will have to do what you have to do. But let us be careful how we take people out of a job because we are in power. St. Lucia is everybody's own and not your party own. That's what all parties need to remember. All right? Folks, I'm not going to be here for long. I'm happy that I was here, be able to be here with you. A lot of people don't know the link. It's a new link. But Facebook, as I showed you, we are working on getting the other original page back. They're very close. I show you the report. Let me just show you, those of you who just came in. This is the report I got from Facebook. Someone added your page to their business account. You have no access to the page. And it says there, they receive, and it is in progress. And so the case is escalated. And so we will be on track shortly. All right? Let us remember our ladies who have lost their lives. Please bear with me. Let's remember and let's have a moment of silence for all our ladies and their families who lost their lives in January in St. Lucia through violence. It is very sad. These human beings, mothers, cousins, sisters, grandmothers, friend of somebody. A person can walk into a house of a 70-year-old and stabs her in the neck. What would cause a society to become this careless and brutal? So to the families, we accept our condolences. We continue to keep the families in prayer. And we continue to ask that you women be careful out there. Especially you single women, be careful how you get into relationships. I know some of you are lonely, and that's the truth. Don't tell me you're not lonely. Some of you are lonely. Sometimes you need a companion, and some of these people come, like good people, start cleaning outside, bringing stuff for you, treating you nice, and then they strike you down when you least expect. Be very careful who you get into relationships with. I'm not saying any one of them had relationships, but be careful. Be very cautious, single women. Go out in groups. Don't let strangers into your home. Yes, St. Lucia is not the United States, but yes, you don't let strangers into your homes. Somebody knocks on your door, you don't know who they are. Be careful. Be careful out there. The world is cruel. I have learned it the hard way that people will say to you, I love you, I forgive you, we forgive each other, and they will stab you. That's the world. We cannot be naive and believe that we're living in a heaven. We're living in a corrupted world. And I really want you women to be cautious. And by the way, a lot of you, with all the loneliness that you're feeling, why don't you try Jesus? Let him be your best friend. He will guide you. He will open your eyes. Anytime I get in trouble is when I take my eyes off of Jesus. All the time. Every time I get in trouble, and just today I'm reflecting. I say, Lord, I got in trouble in December there. You warned me. You showed me clearly in a vision. You showed me. And I took a different path. You came back and you showed me again. And I failed you. Anytime we take our eyes off of our Savior, we get in trouble. So women, maybe you need to enjoy your own self, enjoy your company. And while you're at it, team up with the Lord. Your days will go by. You will never miss you'll never miss anything. And all the sex sometimes you desire, it's just headache. You're inviting demonic influence in your homes, in your life, in your body. Sometimes you bring a set of vagabonds with no substance. All they need to do is to satisfy themselves. They don't care about you. And most of these men, they jump from listen to me, and it's true. They jump from Tom, Dick, and Harry, and Teresa. Some of the men. So they sleep with Teresa today. Tomorrow they sleep with Tommy. The following day, Jacqueline. Then Malinka. Then they're going back with Harris. That's the men of today now. So protect yourself. Let God be your guide. And it's good for you to suck your teeth when some of these men whispering nice nothing in your ear. Some of them have a lot of sweet talk. Just shoops. And sometimes all you have to ask some of these men, I'm closing. Sometimes all you have to ask them, how much money you have. Where you live. Where your job. Where you work. That's all you have to ask some of them. Before I go, let me give you a story. Let me give you a story before you go. Now. It will help you sleep good. It helps you sleep good. Listen to me. I had a girlfriend. I'm not telling you where she's from. We talk soft. Because I'm home. Y'all don't tell anybody anything. This is between me and you all. So I had a girlfriend when I was younger. Me and the girl wanted to break up. You know what I did? I went at, I think it was RBTT, or it was another bank before RBTT. And I went and I took some of the, they had some money envelope, you seal it and you put stuff in it. And I sealed up some documents, all kind of old papers in that envelope. I seal it and I tell her, whatever you do, I brought it to her, give it to her. I say, whatever you do not open this package unless something happened to me. She thought was money. Now that was my strategy to keep her. Give her the assurance that, look at that, I give you a big packet there and think that's how much committed I am to you. Guess what? Blank papers in the thing. So Paddy Pearson, Samuel Jula. But listen, the Bible says if you confess your sins, he is faithful and just to forgive you. I like to confess quickly. So you have to be careful with them men. If they give you envelopes, open the envelopes in front of them. Yeah. Open it in front of them because, listen to me, as young men, we were tricksters. We good. You see a young lady, you taking your best haircut. Même si c'est credit ou ka haircut la. And then you go in town, you praying for her to say she want Chinese food or bread and cheese. You don't have to say anything about Kentucky. You crazy? You walk far past Kentucky so fast, distracted talking, just for her not to look across and see Kentucky. And you walk down the road, then when she look back, you tell, oh, Kentucky closed, we're not making it. And it's dry bread and butter and a juicy for the date. So we were slick, we were smart, ain't it? But it used to work back in the days. Now they have too much light. So family, you guys just ordered Kentucky Fried Chicken and left phone. No. You're the app, yo. You're smart, you're on it. So people, I just wanted to tell you that, ladies, be careful because men are hunters. And when you're a hunter, you don't stop hunting. Même si you got dummy, you can hunt. When you meet a man without God, that's what you call a bad hunter. Bad hunter. All right. So good night, folks. Enjoy your night. And don't tell anybody I tell you anything. See you tomorrow night at 8 p.m. We continue our discussion. I believe we have another clip and we have some other developments. We will bring to you some developments from the meeting held in Dennery tomorrow night. All right. So you all stay happy, stay blessed, and we love every one of you. Thank you for being here with me tonight. Please share the live and let the folks know that, yes, we're on. All right. We're on. Good night, folks.